It's Alice Strutt.
So first of all, how did you get into tattooing?
I did a degree in illustration, and I was always interested in doing something with art, and I, luckily enough, the opportunity arose here. I had found out from a friend that the opportunity arose here for an apprenticeship, so I came in with my portfolio and it sort of just went from there.
Cool. How long have you been doing it for now?
2 years. That's the start of the apprenticeship, was 2 years ago. So, yeah.
Do you think it's important to be sociable in this line of work?
Yeah, I think it's very important. If you're not sociable, if you're not like calm and collected, then you make your client feel really sort of on ease. You need to feel comfortable. You almost make a connection with your client when you're tattooing them, and if you don't feel that, then often the tattoo doesn't come out as they want it. So yeah, I think it's very important to be sociable.
So do you enjoy that aspect of being quite sociable, getting to talk to them?
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, there's off days. There's days that I'm not particularly keen on speaking to people, but I just sort of have to get over it and get into it. It's a good job because you make a lot of friends and things, as well as people just being clients. They can also become good friends. So, yeah, I do enjoy it.
What has it been like working on Nathan's various tattoos and having him come back to you specifically for the rest of it?
It's a nice feeling to know that someone trusts you. I mean, you have to have an abundant amount of trust in someone to let them sort of scar you for life.
Do you mind if I ask actually where you got that one from?
13?
Yeah.
In here.
Oh.
It was in, not where I got it. Yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
Alice has done everything bar the angel. Alice has done.
Yeah, it's nice that he sort of has enough trust in me to let me do that to him.
So what's your favourite design that you've ever done?
I think all of my favourites are like the tattoos I've done on my own artwork, because you know what you're doing and things like that. You know where your lines are supposed to be, where your shade is supposed to be. So yeah, all my favourite designs have been around that.
Do you feel that tattoos should have a story behind them, something personal? Or?
To be honest, I think it's completely personal to you. If you want to get a tattoo just because you like the way it looks, then I think that's fair enough. I don't think that you should I don't think that they should be boxed like that. I think it's a completely personal choice. If you feel like it needs a story, then yeah, it needs a story. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't. It's pretty simple.
Do you feel that the individuality of tattoos is kind of gone, or?
No, not at all. I think it's like that's like saying the individuality of art has gone. I think it's completely personal to you. So if you want to get, it's individual to you. The reasons why you get a tattoo are completely individual to you. So the individuality can't go from that. I do appreciate that there are quite a few people out there that decide to get the same tattoo, but that's their choice and that's individual to them on why they've got that in the first place. So I do an infinity sign quite a lot, and to me personally, I don't think it means what it should to people, but I'm sure it does to them. I'm sure everyone has a completely different meaning, and yeah.
Do you often have people coming in for cover-ups like what Darren had done?
Yeah, we do. A lot of the time it's because people have been sort of not very educated about tattoos and then gone and got a friend to do it or whatever, and then yeah, it's a bit of a mess. It's not necessarily our favourite style of work.
So there's often links between tattoos and criminality, or even kind of like gang relations. Do you feel that's a justified link, or do you feel like that's kind of part of its history?
I think obviously you have like Russian prison tattoos and things like that that are sort of quite important to tattoo history, but I really don't think it should be. Just because someone has a tattoo doesn't make them a criminal, obviously, and just because you're a criminal doesn't mean you have to go out and get a tattoo. So the link is kind of tenuous. The history of tattooing actually started with with the royals, and the royals got tattooed, and because often is the case in society, people lower down, the hierarchy actually started copying the royals, and then for some reason it turned to criminals, maybe because they don't have much to do in prison and they tattoo each other. But today's tattoos and tattoos that are done with care, I don't think they really have much to do with the criminal side of things. I think that's kind of like an archaic way of looking at things. Yeah. Oh, you leave that on till you get home. Yeah. It's going to be well done because it's got loads of shading in it. Lots of the pamp on it. Make sure you keep it on it until it's.
Were tattoos prominent when you were growing up?
Personally, no, but I knew that they were about, but in my family, not really. None of my family, not a lot of my friends had them, but yeah, you saw them on the streets and stuff. They weren't like completely unheard of. Yeah.
Do you feel that tattoos are now becoming more socially acceptable?
I would say so, yeah. I would hope so. There's a lot more people with them, so if there's not, then there's a grand sort of imbalance between what's socially acceptable and what is socially happening. But yeah, I would say they're much more socially acceptable.
And has tattoo art, do you feel, evolved since you first started doing it? Do you feel there's like new trends that are coming in now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say since I started doing it, because it's incredibly old sort of art form, but it has over the years. Yes, definitely. There's people are always pushing boundaries and always trying new things. Definitely.
And finally, what do you think is the next step for tattooing / body art?
That's a difficult one. Hopefully for it to be completely socially acceptable, for people to be able to express themselves how they want on their skin and not be judged in work environments and in any other social environment, really. I think it should be your choice. It's like the ultimate human right to do what you will with your body, and so it should be your choice, and nobody should discriminate against you for that.
He's hiding the wreck, the clothes is blinding, fighting his needs aside, and he says no one brings to light the stain upon my crown, a challenge of his own